this is going to be long, I have this. Right. So you see the title of this video, and I took notes, took skeletal notes to try to get this out in some logical order. And let's see how fast we can get this done, even though I just said it's going to be long. So, first thing, people aren't being fooled anymore. It was rather very easy to come up with arguments to try to deflect or whatever else you might want to call it as to why some people are doing well while some aren't. And as time goes by, I think we're finding more and more people are starting to not do well. And at that point, it's going to be like, well, first of all, the people that were doing well before might not be doing well now, and all of a sudden, they're not coming with the same arguments that they were coming when they were on top of the world. Now the world is on top of them, and they don't quite like it. And all of a sudden now they can see the light. All of a sudden now they can come to Jesus. All of a sudden now they believe once their own understanding fails them. Okay. It's getting harder to fool more and more people. It's getting harder to fool more and more people. When you see a select few people somehow just managing to be the master of the universe while the vast majority of people just can't get it, you might want to start asking yourself, is that really the case? Is that really the case? It very well might be, but is that really the case? People can look out now and see different things happening and realize, you know what? This isn't worth it anymore. There's no point. This isn't worth it. And I'll just bring up a few of those things here. For example, rising costs. Rising costs of everything. Now, despite whatever you might want to say about business as a whole and all of that, rising costs to do almost, if not everything. Okay, let's take a few examples. College. And that's where this comes in. You see this here. This is the place that I am going to get my certs, to get my certifications. And what is this? See, people talk about boom and bust cycles, right? Boom and bust cycles, especially in the financial world. In people's lives, there are no boom and bust cycles. It's either going down or going up, and you have to zoom out. Why do I say zoom out? When you zoom out, you can see this isn't a straight line. Okay? You zoom in, you might see, oh, it flatlined here, or it went down here. And you're thinking, hey, it's going down. Zoom out, and you can see the general trajectory, right? You can see where it's going. People's lives are on a decline. Even if you zoom in and you might see a couple of months or years where it's on a sharp increase, zoom out decades, right? And you see that it's going down. That is what's happening now with the rising cost of everything. In this case, we have college. I've been hearing about this before, and I didn't think much of it, but I started hearing it a lot more, and it's like, okay. Cost of a higher education in the USA, not sustainable. Obviously, yes, we know that. I've been hearing that there are more and more companies that are not requiring a degree to get a job there. Now, what kind of job are you getting there? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure you don't need a degree to be a janitor there. However, as you see here, no longer requiring degrees, with Google and Apple notably among them. I believe Amazon is also another one. People are realizing that, I think people are starting to wake up that their lives are more important than the grind of life. Their lives are more important than the grind of life. People are starting to not do this anymore. Okay? People are starting to not do this anymore. They're getting tired of seeing that they have to go into so much debt for a piece of paper that does not guarantee them a job. There's no shortage of people out here with degrees. And I'll get on to, oh my God, STEM versus not STEM. What did you major in? I was one of those people that said that too, but I'm starting to back off on that. What did you major in? Argument or talk. And you'll see why in a moment. But people are getting a little tired of being told, oh, you have to go to college, you have to go to college, you have to get this piece of paper. I can't afford it. Oh, we'll just take out loans. Oh, we'll just take out grants and loans. Well, first of all, no money is free. So the loans you have to pay back. The grants you don't. But where are they getting that money from? I highly doubt it's just the donations of also nice people. Okay, and when all of those dry up, they dry up. And for what? You learn theory, you don't learn practical application for the most part. Okay? So there's this. Rising costs of college, in state, out of state, it doesn't matter anymore. It is just getting to be too much. Now that you might want to ask yourself, why is that? I'm going to zero in on the colleges themselves. Look at the colleges that cost the most and then look at the administration. Look at the administration. Is the administration a lot or a little? They have to pay for all these administrative staff. They have to pay for that. Next thing, look at what the hell they're building. Do they need to add another coat of asphalt or tarmac or astroturf or whatever the hell it is to that field, to that track field outside, to that football field? Is it even a very big football school? But yet they're building a brand new stadium that could hold the Super Bowl. Usain Bolt has never once graced that school, but yet they have a track field that handedly beats the one at the Olympics. No they're not building warp drives, madam, sir, but yet somehow they have the brand new scientific building for what? They're not MIT. Why the hell do they need a supercomputer? Who the hell's paying for this shit? Does MIT even have a supercomputer? I don't think they do. They certainly have access to one, but I don't think they have one themselves. I'm gonna have to ask what's his name about that. Point is, what the hell are these schools spending it on? The administrative staff and all these new building this, building that, brand new sign. Who pays? At the risk of sounding like some right-wing conservative, who pays? Who is paying for that? The school does not generate money on its own. Okay, who is paying for that? Which leads to the obvious question, why is tuition so high? Why is it that Western Governors University can charge so little compared to, I don't know, shit, pick any other school, University of Maryland, UCLA, wherever? You might want to ask yourself that. And so you get saddled with this debt because you have to pay for these administrative staff, you have to pay for these ridiculous classes that you don't need. You have to pay for And after all of that, plus the college experience. Ooh, the college experience. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no way in hell you're going to get me to be paying however many tens to hundreds of thousands just to be able to go to parties, get accused of God knows what because you tried to get some pussy. She gave you some pussy and then wants to turn around days, weeks, months, year, 10, 20, 30, 40 days, weeks, months, years later and say, oh my God, I decided now that I want to feel some sort of way. And then the books. Jesus H. the books. I'll get on the books in a moment. Not paying for that. The college experience. Spring break, Girls Gone Wild, that was late 90s, early 2000s. That's not happening anymore, especially in today's day and age. Gynocentric, post-feminist, Me Too day and age. That's not happening anymore. What college experience? The only college experience should be to bust your ass in front of some books. If your ass isn't falling asleep in a library with drool coming out of your mouth, you're not studying. If Starbucks isn't kicking you the fuck out like they did with me twice because they were closing from studying, I'll get on that in a moment, you're not studying. Nowhere is getting eaten out or getting your dick sucked or getting some ass or going on spring break vacation a part of the college experience. Despite what, I guess, I don't know, late Gen X, early Gen Y told us. It's not. Cost of living. Now, of course, we can talk about inflation all we want. And yes, of course, inflation as a whole is there. Oh my God, the printing of the dollar. It's not backed by anything. Yes, okay, of course. Yes, fine. That's fine. Cost of living. Everything is going up. Food is going up. Cost of housing is going up. Cost of transportation is going up. And if you think that Uber is going to be, or rideshare is going to be some cheap alternative, take it from somebody who has done Uber in DC for 3 years straight, end on end. Rain or shine, morning, evening, noon, night, daytime. Rain, snow, ice, plus dealing with the drunk people on the weekends. Take it from me. It will not be. It might be now, it won't be in the long run. In fact, it probably isn't now. Why? When you get other people to do stuff, it costs more than you doing it yourself. And I'll be expanding on that in a little bit. But when you get other people to do stuff, it costs more. This is why eating out costs more versus cooking at home. You add up, especially if you are in the city, I'd say. You add up how many, add up over a week and over a month how much you spend on Uber if you don't have a car, and Uber and rideshare, Uber, Lyft, whatever, via, is I believe Swift is one, is a really low one, low ranking one, or size. You add up how much that stuff costs you each week and each month, right? Just even do an average. Don't even like count each and every. Just do an average. Average for surge, average for no surge, whatever. Are you sure that it is cheaper? It very well might be. And hell, if you don't need to worry about it because your job subsidizes it or something, somehow you manage to get it subsidized. Great, you don't need to worry about it. Somebody else has to pay. Someone pays. Always remember that. Somebody pays. So okay, you don't have to worry about it. All right. But for those of you who don't and you're paying out of your pocket, add that up. And you might see that much like eating at McDonald's dollar menu or going out to eat, it adds up to the point where you might want to honestly ask yourself, is it really cheaper to do this, or is it really cheaper to own a car? Even if it's a used car, you might have to deal with a little bit of maintenance. Okay, God forbid you learn how to do the maintenance yourself. Get on that in a little bit. Uh, but which one's really cheaper? You might want to ask yourself that. Cost of living, cars, yes. Again, our but having said that, I will say this: it has to be older cars because, and for this one, the cars, we go to not that. We go to this one. Have you all checked this out? I said I was going to reference him in a video that I was about to make, and well, yeah, here it is right there. Um, After this video is done, check him out. Cars, Trucks, and Debt: Why It Never Ends by Savage Geese. I'll even have it linked. Cars are getting too expensive. And as he said in this video, generations past Gen Y are starting to not get licenses. That's not good news for people that sell cars. New, used, or hell, even just independent people trying to get rid of their ride to get some money. There's a reason why this stuff is costing so much, and he gets into that in another video. But the fact of the matter is, cars are getting too expensive. $50,000 for a new car, $40,000 for a new car, and you're supposed to be somebody 18 to 20 something. Maybe you just got out of school or something. You're supposed to get settled down to that plus however much, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for whatever degree you got, be it a consequential one or not. Not sustainable. It's not going to work. Cars are getting too expensive. They're getting harder to fix because they keep putting so much crap in there. That's part of the reason why I hold on to my Mazda 6 for Hail Mary Dear Life, because while I might not be doing any engine or transmission rebuilds, I have been able to do, thanks to the videos here on YouTube, I've been able to do most, damn near all the maintenance myself. And to go get some 2019, 2020 car and then I gotta go do a whole engine and transmission rebuild just to fill up the gas tank, just to be able to get the gas tank to fill it up. No. They keep putting more shit in cars under whatever guise that they want to, oh my god, fuel economy, safety, whatever. Which is bullshit, by the way. It's all bullshit. And they become too expensive. Now, another particular reason why it's bullshit, and this came from one of Bill Burr's podcasts where he mentioned it in passing. It was, I wonder if I could find it real quick. No. It was one of Bill Burr's podcasts, and actually it was somebody else's video of his podcast, where he mentions it in passing that back in the day, there was some commercial for, I think it was Subaru, and it was from like the 80s or something like that. And the lady that was the the model slash spokesperson talking about the car, she said that Subaru, now this is back in the 80s, we're talking more than likely carbureted engines and shit like that, plus Subaru all-wheel drive, right? She said that thing got, what was it, 32 miles per gallon highway back in the 80s. In fact, let me see if I can do it real quick. Right here. Let's see, Bill Burr, Subaru. I don't want to take too much time with this. I don't know. It was somebody. No. Gas mileage. Bill Burr gas mileage debate with listeners. Oh geez, gas mileage saga. I guess Bilber. Yeah, I'm not about to be able to find it in here, but it's somewhere in there. And he was talking about how back in the 80s that thing got 32 miles per gallon, or or something high like that for a heavier car. Because back in the 80s cars weren't made out of thin air and bubbles like they are now. 32 miles per gallon carburetor, and I believe that's highway mileage. And yet, what are cars getting today? Lighter, more efficient, and all that crap. Precise computer controlled, precision controls. What are they getting? Hmm? So, yeah, it's crazy. And safety, really? Everyone knows that the Volvos of the 90s, especially early to mid 90s, were called urban Abrams for a reason. You hit that shit, whatever you hit got hurt, and that's all. And that was the 90s. Certainly going back, cars were made tougher. Okay? Now, in today's day and age, the only thing that's really tough is, well, safest is SUVs. Bigger cars are obviously safer than smaller cars, right? But I'll put a 90s Volvo up against any one of these SUVs and let them hit each other and see who comes. I'll take my chances in the Volvo. Okay. So as far as safety goes, which one really is safer? I want to ask yourself that. Cost too much to fix. Cars cost too much. They're costing more to insure. Do you want to have a car payment that's more than a rent of a room? $600 car payment? $700 car payment? Hell, even $500 car payment? And you're supposed to have that, plus you're supposed to start paying off your student loans because you just got out of school. Not sustainable. Not sustainable. House. Can't tell me that's not going up. Is rent going up? Yes, rent is going up. Rent is going up. Even owning a house, cost of repairs go up as houses. Now, I don't think houses are getting as advanced as cars do, obviously, but property taxes, HOA fees, just wear and tear maintenance as the house goes on. This goes wrong, that goes wrong. Whereas, despite renting going up, hey, if you want to leave, you don't have to worry about selling a house. You can just give 30 to 6 days notice and be out, especially if maybe some undesirables move in. Speaking of moving is not the answer in that case. At least not necessarily. Why? Because as much as we sit here and talk about the cost of everything is going up, and the cost of everything is going up everywhere, the fact of the matter is you also have to look at where the jobs are. If there are any jobs, you have to look at where they are. Okay. If you are in the IT world, something tells me that you're not going to really do all too well in North Dakota. You're trying to make it in the fashion industry, Wyoming might not be the place for you. Internet be damned, because the internet really should really should decouple everything, and it does to a certain extent, but not absolutely. You want to make it in show business? Mississippi is not it. Ohio is not it. Farm boy, good at wrestling, flyover country, that's not it. when it comes down to it, the reason why places are expensive, certain places versus certain places are cheaper, yes, Wyoming is cheaper than LA. Good luck advancing in Wyoming. Ohio, Idaho, Oklahoma, Iowa. Again, farm boy country. You go there for wrestling. Okay, fine. College wrestling. All right. North Dakota. Okay. After that, then what? Where are the jobs? The jobs are in the major cities. DC, NY. Okay, Miami, I guess. Okay. LA. Major cities. Prices go up even though the quality goes down, and I think anybody living in LA can tell you that. So even though, yes, it might be cheaper to go and live in Denver or wherever else, Wyoming, Mississippi, Louisiana, wherever. Okay, it might be cheaper to live there. Cost of living is cheaper, but that means what if you have no job? Flip side to that is you could be making $100,000 in Silicon Valley and be living paycheck to paycheck. As I know of two people that are currently doing that, I'll leave their names out. So what do you do? When you figure it out, let me know. Next thing, lower or stagnant wages. Well, it's not really that you're getting paid less. It's just that the inflation makes it worth it. Whatever. By whatever metrics, however, whatever rolls by any other fucking name. Okay. Point is, the money is not stretching. A dollar buys a nickel's worth. Okay. Lower or stagnant wages. Costs of everything goes up, and really it's not even going up just for individual people. It's also going up for businesses and such. And they have to keep costs down, so okay, we can only pay these Americans this little before they just say fuck it, which is kind of what we're doing now to a certain extent. So what else do we do? I mean, automation can do it to a certain extent, can take these jobs if we can't get them overseas fast enough. Okay, fine. But then you come to the inevitable point at some point where you're going to have to ask the question, if people can't afford to buy our shit because it's too expensive and they're not getting paid enough and they can barely afford to live, who are we going to sell this shit to? Because as much as Americans or people living in America, I'll say, are struggling, they're the ones with the most amount of money in general. Them, maybe some in the UK, Europe. Okay. They're the ones with the money. At least for now. Okay. So if they can't afford it, who the hell's buying it? Yes, there's an entire world outside. Yes, there's all of Africa. Okay, good luck. And then, of course, there's the two most populated countries in the world, China and India. Okay, that's nice. Again, good luck. Especially having to deal with the whole cultural thing. And put it to you like this, there's a reason why a lot of American companies don't do quite well in other countries. For example, the car industry. They're not doing too well. American cars don't really do too well in Japan. And there's a number of reasons for that, but they're not really doing too well. American cars, or at least I believe Buick, no, yeah, Buick I believe it is, and GM. They're doing good in China, but it's considered luxury. And the thing about luxury is that not too many people have it. That's the whole point of it being a high status or status symbol. A Honda Civic isn't a status symbol. Okay? So, if only the rich and well-to-do in China are going to be able to afford the Buicks and whatever, and the American cars as a status symbol. What about the rest of the Chinese? Who is buying this stuff is what you have to ask yourself. Who is buying it? If the vast majority of people can't afford to buy your stuff, how do you get your money back that you invested in it, however much or little you invested? You really got to ask yourself that question. Wages. As far as wages goes, it's amazing to me how companies, they want you to go above and beyond with the work, but they're not really trying to go above and beyond with the paychecks. If they could pay you nothing, they would. Hmm? If they could pay you nothing, they would. So it's not about, oh, skills or working hard or anything like that. It's not about what did you major in, oh my god, STEM. They're not going to pay you, American, $80,000 because you have certs and a degree in STEM when they can pay somebody from India or China 40, 30, 40, 50,000 to do the exact same work. They might even finance their visa to come here if they even need to do that. That person comes here, lives cheaply, minimally, saves that money up, and after 5 years or so, head back to their country and live the rest of their life like a king. The American company got the product they wanted. These people got their money. They will go back to their country, live like gods, and you, oh American, are asked out. Which leads to this, and I've mentioned this a number of times. And I first saw this here, the Washington Post. But as you can see, what happens, there's that. So since it looks like everybody has the exact same thing now, this is the one that doesn't mind the ad block. And I mean, this thing is old. 1 year ago. I actually think it's more than a year ago, but whatever. Trump says American workers are hurt by immigration, but after ICE raids this Texas town, they never show up. Which ties right back into what I was just saying. They come here, they live minimally because, well, they have to for a number of reasons. Send their money back home or stack it up and carry it back home, go live like a god. Although I'm not sure if these people are doing it, picking whatever the hell they're picking, tomatoes or whatever. But China and India, yeah. They're bringing technical labor here, not manual. Okay. And so, where does that leave people in America? Because they're not about to do this kind of job. Why? Not even so much because, oh my god, it's beneath them, and oh my god, we don't do that. Yes, of course, there's certainly some of that. But then you also have to ask yourself, if I'm going to maintain my standard of living, especially if it's not a standard of living that's like way the hell up in the frickin' sky, I'm going to need to get more than what they're paying these people. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if maybe McDonald's they get paid more. Although I think some people, after they work there for a while, they can make somewhat decent. But how long is a while? And if they did something else, yeah, like, well, wages would have to pay much more for refinery wages of $30. Yeah, I mean, look. Some of it is because they don't want to do the work. Oh my god, this is beneath me. Oh my god, I definitely don't want to do this. Another part of it is because they can't. They have families to feed, they have bills to pay, and what they were paying these people who probably didn't have any of that here in this country at the very least to deal with, and who could afford to live off this, and then pay their bills back in their country in American dollars, which goes a hell of a lot farther in their country. Americans can't do that. So not only is it because, oh my God, beneath me, I'm too good to do that kind of work, but also I'm just going to be delaying the inevitable. I can't live off this. So there's that. And then, of course, to wrap it all up, yes, of course, the inflation and, oh my God, the death of the dollar and not backed by gold and all that stuff. Yes, okay. Printing every day. Okay. Alternatives. Now, the alternate route. The mainstream route isn't working anymore. The mainstream argument does not work. Alternative route. Alternatives to college. Well, the alternative, one of them, is don't go, which ultimately is what it boils down to. But for those who must, oh my God, I must have college. Okay, go online. Online colleges should have been dead a long time ago. Like, since 2005 at the very least, they've been able to have colleges online. And it's always been my belief that with the current technology, no future technology, current technology from 2005, certainly 2010, and we're almost at 2020 now, it has been my belief that brick and mortar colleges should be obsolete, short of things where you have to have a lab, like, say, university for surgery or something, where you can't just go online and read up about surgery. You have to get some time with a scalpel or X-Acto knife cutting people open. X-Acto knife, jeez. Right? Or perhaps chemistry, where you have to really go and mix these gamma rays and these photons, neutrons, black matter, and unlock God or whatever. Things where you need a lab. The vast majority of college is not lab. The vast majority of things being taught in colleges do not need a lab at any point in time. There is no need for that many brick and mortar colleges. Look at what I'm doing. I have a high enough speed internet, okay. I have a webcam, you can see me. I have a microphone, you can hear me. I can speak to you, you can hear me through the speakers, you can see me on the screen. It is my belief that there is no reason why one teacher, find the best teacher on planet Earth teaching whatever the hell, math, science, reading, writing, whatever, theology, history, whatever, and have that person sit in front of a webcam with a microphone and teach the entire planet. Not a bunch of different teachers. Have that one person teach the entire planet. Oh, how efficient that would be. Pay that teacher a couple $100,000 a year, because they are the absolute best on the planet. There's nobody better. Now, as to how you're going to measure that, well, that's for you to figure out. But that is the overarching theory that I have. With today's technology, brick and mortar is dead, and brick and mortar college is certainly dead, and the amount of different teachers, adjunct, that is also dead. Who is the absolute best? Who's the absolute best that wants to teach? Because the absolute best might be like, look, you all can't pay me enough, even teaching, that I can go make doing this. So the absolute best that's willing to teach. Who is that best? Put them in front of a webcam and have that person teach the world. Done. Another alternative to college. Remember that last video that I said? That video where I was going into that girl talking about, hey, you know what? I just got a little bit of Google money, AdSense money, and I went and bought a book. Here it is. I wasn't lying. Security Plus. This one is actually not by Mike Myers. This one is by W.M. Arthur Conklin, PhD, and Gregory White, PhD. So here you are, people, and I will actually do this in real time. I will show you the prices. A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. You get a certification in these, you become what CompTIA calls a, what the hell is it? Secure Infrastructure Specialist. CICS. CompTIA Secure Infrastructure some shit like that. Right? Now, tuition for some theoretical degree costs however much it costs. I am going to do in real time. You see it here on the screen, and you see me here in the corner. No editing. This whole video has not been edited at all. Will not be edited. In real time, we're going to go on Amazon. I got some of these in Barnes & Noble, and they cost a little bit more, fine. On Amazon, and we're going to see how much each one of these books costs. Let's do it together, boys and girls. Amazon. So, here we go. A+. A+. A+ certification. Okay. A+ certification CompTIA, the exact same book that I have. That book costs $45.04 on Amazon. So that's $45.04. Let's add that up. 45.04, and it's on Prime, so free shipping for that. Network Plus. Here you go. To buy. I believe in ownership. To buy. Network Plus is $36, so plus $36.02. Also on Amazon Prime. Last one. Securita Plus. $26.77. I actually didn't realize how small the Security Plus book was compared to the other ones. Well, first of all, let's add this. Plus $26.77. So, all three of these books, assuming you have Amazon Prime, cost exactly $107.83. Show me what now. And this is the thickness of the book. This is the A+. It's that thick. This is the Network Plus. It's that thick. And the Security Plus. That thick. Okay. Somebody show me what degree in college costs $107.83. Show it to me. Anybody that, as of, what the hell, what is today's date? Thursday, May 2nd at, what is this? 1:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will take this entire video down if somebody can show me what college degree. Hell, I might even go as far as to say college courses, but then again, there might be one if it's a good enough online school. So just to cover my ass, I won't say that. But what college degree costs $107.83? You do what I'm doing. You see the bookmark right here. You do what I'm doing. Plus, actually, this A+ I already read through once, but it was a while back, so I need to go through it again. You go through these 3 books and get the certification. You can't tell me that you can't make at least $25 an hour somewhere. Okay? For $107.83 as of right now. Maybe these books are about to be replaced by the 10,000 edition. Okay, fine. Versus your degree. and so many people with a degree, and they can't find jobs. Hmm? Which leads us to this one last part here. This is another video that I'll have a link to, and I'm just going to play a small part of what he says here. And of course, go and watch that video when I'm done, when you're done here. But listen to this.
Number 3, computer science degree is obsolete within 3 years. You get a computer science degree today, within 3 years it's obsolete. Number 4, teachers need to go to school. Not.
Well, okay. I thought it was actually going to expand on that a bit more, but yeah, it is. It is obsolete. Somebody has a computer science degree from 2000 or from 1990. You know. Well, perfect example. Perfect example. These same certifications. When CompTIA started, or when this A+ certification started, once you got certified, you were certified for life. For life. So there are a bunch of people running around right now with a CompTIA certification from what, early 2000s or whenever the hell they switched over, that have not picked up a book yet. God knows if they're still in the industry. So they're keeping up that way through the experience. But they are, in fact, A+ certified, and they can legally and legitimately claim to be A+ certified because they, in fact, are, because it never expired. Now they expire in 3 years. 3 years from the date you get the certification, they expire. Assuming they didn't stay in the industry and they're not currently working in the industry, or probably just never did work in the industry, or for a little bit, I'm willing to bet me having no certification right now, well, actually, I passed the 901 test. Huh? I wish they took a better picture of me. But I passed the 901 test. I need to go past the 902, then I'll be officially A+ certified. But I'm willing to bet I know more than that person that was A+ certified in 2000 and then never looked at it again. But they're certified and I'm not. A more practical example of what that guy just said. In 3 years, your computer science degree is null and void, despite technically still being applicable. Jeez, degree. Could you imagine if degrees expired in a certain amount of time? I mean, hell, somebody with a 1980s computer science degree or 1990s computer science degree. I can't imagine law degrees are of any value unless you're actually doing the freaking law, because laws change how much? So much, how much? Anyway. So yeah, with these 3 things, you can't tell me, and this is what I was telling that girl that broke down because her Instagram got deleted and that's how she made her money, and you saw the video. I'm nothing without my followers. I'm nothing. I used to be a prostitute, for fuck's sake. And me, random black dude on the internet, I gave her advice. Do what I'm doing. Go get these 3 books. Like I told her, you know, considering all the money you had to go buy Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all that shit when you were making the money, and how you used to be a prostitute before by your own admission right there on camera, which is illegal since I'm pretty sure you weren't doing it in that one area of Vegas, which is the only area in the entire country where it's legal. You can't tell me you can't go suck and fuck some other dude one more time, or some girl, or both, and get up $107.83 and then go crash on somebody's couch somewhere and study up that shit. Maybe a couple extra bucks, couple extra $100 to take the tests, obviously, right? Go bang yourself out for 500 or 1,000. Let's just say $1,000. you know, throw a couple of bucks to the person that's hosting you, plus food, plus the actual books, plus the test, you know. You can't do that one more time? For old time's sake? Okay. So that's college. The alternative. The alternative and also is just not go. People are just deciding to not go anymore. It is costing too much. They keep hearing about this. What the hell is it? 1.53 trillion. I think it's actually a lot more than that now. Student loan debt. And they're wisely saying, you know what? No. If I'm supposed to be a contributing, functioning member of society, I'd rather not have these chains and shackles on me. Right? You're telling me to do this to go and help society. Well, society needs to not go and punish me for that with this much debt. Make that shit lower. And this is the reason also why I don't listen to older people on this. I don't want to hear what anybody who is 50 and over has to say about this. 60 and over. I don't care, because back in the 1960s, back in the 70s, 80s, even up to the 90s, bring back those prices today, I'll take this video down. 1 cent per gallon of gas. Shit, back in the 80s, I remember one person was telling me, man, and they were agreeing with me, thank God, that yes, it's not the same like it used to be back in the 80s. She, not even he, she, exactly. She was able to go to college, rent a little room, have a little small car, all from a part-time job. Part-time job. I forgot what the fuck she was doing. It wasn't McDonald's. Was it a clothing store she was working at? She was working somewhere. But she, not he, it was a woman, was able to work part-time, pay for school, have a little small car for herself, transportation, and housing, and be able to buy food. Back in the 1980s when she was going to school. You can't afford the dollar menu in today's day and age with a part-time job. Okay, so bring back those, and then I'll take this video down, and then we'll talk. But until that happens, I don't want to hear what anybody above Gen Y has to say about just work hard, and well, I did it, how come you can't do it? I don't want to hear, but nobody, what? Gen Y is what? Gen Y is what, 35 and older? Or 35 and younger? I don't want to hear what anybody who is 35, who is 36 and older has to say about college. Even if 36 is Gen Y, fine. I don't want to hear what anybody who is Gen X and older, I don't care what any of you have to say about any of this. Unless you're agreeing with me, I don't care what you have to say. Okay. Alternatives to car and house. The alternatives to car, well, for right now, it's rideshare. And we'll see how long that lasts, because rideshare are trying to get rid of the drivers. And that is how they made their money. That's how shit was able to be so cheap. And for that, you need look no further than this video right here. Final warning, get out of rideshare now. You need look no further than that video for an explanation on that. House ownership. Forget house ownership. Look, you can't afford a car. You can't afford to pay back your student loans. House? Shit. I'm not even going to talk about house ownership. Okay, and of course you can't pay that shit back, so there goes your credit report and your credit score. Anyway, remember seeing this one documentary, and I forgot what it was. I forgot the name of the documentary, but I think it might have actually been here on YouTube. But there is some multi-million dollar hedge fund manager who still lives in an efficiency in New York. He doesn't own a house. It's not like he owns a house but he chooses to live there. He doesn't own a house. He's some hermit monk recluse like dude. He's not married, he has no kids, he lives alone, he doesn't have any pets. And he lives in an efficiency in New York. Multi-millionaire. Well, maybe he's going on $1 billion now. I don't know. So there's that. So the next thing is people are doing what they have to do. I mean, hell, the most legal bit of hustling is this whole gig bullshit with rideshare and whatever else. But people are doing what they have to do. Okay, they're realizing that playing by the rules isn't working anymore, and you're finding a lot more people doing what they have to do. Okay, and it's not about love anymore. It's not about being nice. It's about, look, shit's getting worse. Doesn't look like there's any end in sight. If we're gonna stay alive, if we're gonna survive here, there's gonna need to be some changes. No, we're not going to school anymore because from what Gen Y has taught us, we go to school like we were told to, like we were demanded to. Once we finish, there's no penthouse office with our $1 million supercar and our mansion going home to. None of that's there, even though that's what we were told was going to be there. Okay, Gen Y taught us that. So no, we're not doing that anymore. No, I'm not owning a car. I'm not going to own something that depreciates so fast, is a bitch to fix. I can't fix myself because it's too complicated. Mechanics are charging 10 arms and 5 legs because it's too complicated for the few that even can fix it properly. And no, it's going to be 10 of us living in row houses. I mean, people sat here and got on the illegals, usually Hispanics, but maybe even Chinese, I believe, in California, or Asians. They got on them for like having 10 people sharing one car and packing up in a place. A lot more people are having to do that. They get on them for doing that, but they don't get on some of these interns in Washington that are doing the same thing in row houses in D.C. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them packed up in one house because that's how they can afford to live in D.C. The people that can afford to live in D.C., they don't. They live in Potomac, they live in Bethesda, they live in Fairfax, they live in outside of D.C., old money. The people that want to live in D.C. can't afford it unless they go and pack up like sardines. And again, this is somebody who's been talking to those people because, again, 3 years doing Uber in DC. Okay. So, it's about tactical survival. People don't care anymore. Fuck the rules, fuck the laws, and people are doing what they have to do to survive. What this ultimately also means is the end of, almost done here. What this also means is the end of bullshit consumption, to a certain extent. Obviously, there's going to be some still. But as more and more people are unable to afford things, minimalism is going to have to be minimalism, which I am for, which I try to do as much as possible every day. In fact, my girl finally convinced me to get some new clothes because I had some button-down shirts from I think I was back in high school when I got those at the Burlington Coat Factory. And they're just too big for me, and I wanted to get them tailored, but I think it's going to cost like $25 per shirt, and I have like 12 of them. And the shirts themselves only cost like $16.99. Some of them cost $9.99. But they were just too big for me. And so she finally convinced me to throw them out and get some new ones. So I have them washing right now. In fact, I need to go change over the load into the dryer when I'm done this video. And then I'm going to go donate them. I'm not even going to try to sell them. I'm just going to just donate them. And then go get some that fit me. But I've had those things for 10 years now. I remember having those things when I was in... Some of them. I remember having some of them when I was leaving high school, which was 2005. So that's over 10 years. I'm all for it. And those things look good. Those things still looked fresh. Especially the ones that weren't made out of just strictly cotton, but like this half cotton, half, I guess, was it polyester? Not whatever. Point is, it looked nice. When this video started, you saw the thing up here where it said, what did it say? FX 9590 and Fury X Pro. Yeah. My computer is old. My computer is prehistoric by tech standards. I still have it. Right? Minimalism is the name of the game right now. Okay? And I think more people are going to be forced into it, whether they like it or not, once they realize they cannot afford this anymore. They can't afford to keep buying stuff because they can't afford the stuff. And they also can't afford the place to house all that stuff. You're going to have to put that stuff somewhere. And to go paying for storage externally somewhere to house stuff, well, that's just dumb. And I think even the dumbest person, the dumbest rich, usually white, but doesn't even have to be Valley Girl cheerleader type, like, oh my God, like daddy. I think even those types would realize that's dumb. Okay? So people are going to have to really realize, do I want to eat or do I want to go buy this? Do I want to have a car or do I want to have a house? Or a place to sleep, really, not even a house. People are going to have to start prioritizing the spending versus just consume, oh my God, land of the free, land of excess. No, that's coming to an end. And then you have to ask, as I asked earlier, what will corporations do? Who the hell, I mean, there's only so much business to business, B2B you can do before you eventually have to terminate at an end user individual. Okay? What happens when those end users can't afford to buy whatever the hell you're selling? And I won't get into, oh my God, it's the end of capitalism. No, I'm not going to get into that. Not getting into that, because capitalism might end in the U.S., but it's going to start up somewhere else. Start up in China, start up in India, the two most populated countries on the planet. All of Africa hasn't had any chance to experience proper capitalism yet, especially in the central parts of Africa. Maybe Egypt and South Africa got a little taste of that. So there's all of Africa still. But, you know, it which leads to the very last point, and this is the end of the video. And you know what, to that point, I'm going to play a scene from, I believe it was Margin Call? Margin Call, let's see. Best scene in Margin Call. I think that's pretty much all I need to type. Best scene in Margin. Best scene in Margin Call. Best scene in Margin Call, and here it is. Now, these things are up, so hopefully I won't get DMCA'd for this or some shit like that, okay? Let's see.
Alright, well, am I getting fired? I don't know. Yeah. Almost definitely yes. Are you? No. Seth, it's nothing you did. You're just in the wrong farm at the wrong time. Young guys are always the first to get called. Listen, nothing I'm going to say is going to make you feel any better. It's just going to suck for a while, and then you'll be fine. alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry this is happening to you.
Don't be. You didn't do it to me.
Still, at least you can have some nice cash to walk away with.
I guess. Shit, this is really gonna affect people.
Yeah, it's gonna affect people like me.
Real people.
Jesus, sir.
Here we go.
Listen, if you really want to do this with your life, you have to believe you're necessary, and you are. People want to live like this in their cars and their big fucking houses they can't even pay for, but you're necessary. The only reason that they all get to continue living like kings is because we've got our fingers on the scales in their favor. I take my hand off, when then the whole world gets really fucking fair, really fucking quickly, and nobody actually wants that. They say they do, but they don't. They want what we have to give them, but they also want to, play innocent and pretend they have no idea where it came from. Well, that's more hypocrisy than I'm willing to swallow, so fuck normal people. The funny thing is, tomorrow if all of this goes tits up, they're gonna crucify us for being too reckless. But if we're wrong, and everything gets back on track, well then the same people are gonna laugh till they piss their pants because we're gonna look like the biggest pussies God ever let through the door.
And there's actually an end part to that where the other guy asked, do you think it's going to get back to normal? And then he's like, nah, we're all fucked. But that's okay. Margin call. You see it right here. I am hoping to God that after all of this, talking for over an hour, I do not end up getting this video DMCA'd just for that bit. This thing has been up since 2011, so I'd like to think that whoever made margin call is cool. All right. Yeah, third world country. We all know, or at least, well, most of us know, that the only reason why the U.S. is not officially a third world country is because of the whole petrodollar business, or really the military part of that whole. Not even petrodollar, just the military. That's it. And world reserve currency status plus military. Not either one, but both. Okay? Because U.S. military wouldn't mean shit if the entire rest of the planet came on them. World reserve status plus military. Well, how long is that going to last is one question to ask. But while that's not lasting and is slowly, or perhaps not so slowly, grinding to a halt, what say the people living in that country? I think we're starting to realize now that life was a lot easier back in the 50s, which was harder in the 70s, which is harder in the 80s, which is harder in the 90s, and now almost 2 decades, 20 years into 2000, and people are realizing, shit's not going back. Like, there's no upswing. Like, there's no upswing. Like, when are we gonna go back to 90 cents a gallon gas? When are we gonna go back to $50,000 could buy you a giant palatial mansion somewhere? Like, when are we going to go back to those days? We're not. Okay, and I'm sitting here talking about it as though black people as a whole really enjoyed those kind of days. Like, but, that's not going to happen for us, Gen Y. That's certainly not going to happen for any generation after us. And people are starting to realize, like, you know what? Is the amount of work I'm doing worth it? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like diminishing rates of return. It reaches the upper asymptote but never actually touches it. Do I really want to go these extra 100 miles doing this, working hard, busting my ass, just to get an extra $5? Or the best example to use, taxes. Okay, you work 40 hours, you make $1,000. You bust your ass and not making excuses and you just do the work and work hard. Okay, you put in 80 hours. 40 hours, and let's say you got $1,000, 80 hours nets you $1,300. Are you really going to work that extra 40 hours? If you don't, well, you just don't want to work hard, and you just don't want, you're just lazy, and you just don't want to get ahead and all that business. And if you do, well, then you are the kind of pawn, the kind of worker bee, the kind of worker ant that this system is looking for. Work yourself into an early grave, much like that one Japanese guy that worked, 16-hour days every day until his heart just stopped. Young guy, heart just stopped right there on the Japanese subway. He just instantly died. His heart just gave up. And I believe he was in his late 20s or early 30s. Day after day, week after week, month after month, nothing less than 13-hour days. Usually 16 or 17. In fact, to show you that I'm not lying, Japanese man heart stops on subway. Japanese man dies on subway from overwork. Dies on subway from work. News Japan, overwork blamed for man's death. It's probably this one right here. The death of a young Japanese man working for the country's space agency has been blamed on him working too hard. The 31-year-old man. Okay, let's put my Japanese to test. Yukinobu Sato. Okay, that wasn't too hard. Yukinobu Sato, 31 years old, a year younger than me. Took his own life. So this lawyer represents his family. Okay, no, that's not it. That's not the one. He took his own life. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I saw that thing somewhere. Trying to say Japanese man become here. Japanese man heart stops. Death by overwork says working too much can kill. Yeah, okay. Japanese karoshi culture blamed for. Here we go. For young man's heart failure. Was directed long hours overwork. Authorities ruled Joey Tuckett. Whoa. Okay. Directly related to the long hours of overtime, up to 122.5 hours a month he was forced to perform. Okay, Philippines, Japan. You can go find this. Some Japanese dude's heart literally just stopped while he was finally on his way home. Because he just worked too much. If you're one of those people, good for you. Good for you. Anyway, that's it. If you managed to make it this far, thank you. 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 55 seconds and counting. Thank you very much for this. And now you see why I have the title of this video. Feel free to think. Share your thoughts. Done. Later.